For this project, I'm using a 4.0 meter hook, and this shirt falls on size 38 to 40 inches chest measurement. So I'm going to make a very long chain for 40-inch chest measurement, which I'm actually going to divide for the front and back panel. So you divide your 40-inch if you're actually making a size medium. So when you divide 40 divided by 2, you have 20. So that is how long your chain will be. And right now I'm making a half double crochet. So for whatever size of shirts that you're making, just make sure you divide it by 2 and make a very long chain that actually fits in that inch that you divided by 2. Once you're done with the half double crochet in each chains, then you're going to be making a double crochet. I actually chained 4 because I'm going to be making a double crochet mesh, since I actually want to skip a chain. So that's why I made 4. You don't have to make 4, it's not really compulsory. If you don't want to, you can just make 3 chains and just continue with your mesh. I've gotten to the end. I'm going to change back to white, and this time around I'm going to be making a half double crochet. I'm going to be making a half double crochet in every chain space, into the chain space of the mesh and into the space where we had our double crochet. Now for our triple. I don't know. You're going to be yarning over 3 times. One more. Yeah. So you grab in gradually, and grab in just 2 loops, and grab in another 2 loops, and another one, then the last one. Then chain 1. It's the same thing we did with the double crochet mesh. You're just going to skip and then just continue like that. Again, I'm going to repeat the process, change back to my black, and do a double crochet this time around, and just continue with the pattern. So I hope you understand. For the front panel, we began with the half double crochet, half double crochet, then the triple. And please be mindful of the edges because of the different stitches. It might not really want to be straight, but you just try to make it straight. So yeah, I have 11 rows, and we're just going to change in like a different pattern. So right here I'm making a double crochet and a half double crochet. I'm going to do that like 5 rows. So I'm done with the black 5 rows of half double crochet and double crochet. I'm going to repeat for the white and do another 5 rows of that, just to make the pattern look different. And yeah, we have our back panel. You can actually do this like anyhow you like it. You can, just play around with the pattern that you want or however you want your shirt to be. So I'm actually going to make the front and repeat what I did at the back to make the front also. So this is like the middle where I'm supposed to make the collar and the V-neck for the shirt. If it hasn't gone to the point where you want the V-neck to be, then you can just move on with the patterns and just go above or wherever you like your V-neck to be. This is where I actually want the V-neck to be, so that is why I stopped at this point. So whatever number of double crochet you have in total, you're going to divide it by 2 so that you can actually know where to make the curve for your V-neck. As you can see, that's where I'm putting my stitch markers, and if this is too wide for you, you can just adjust it to where is suitable for you, that you want your V-neck or how wide you want your V-neck to be. For this shirt, I actually want the V-neck to be a little bit wider, not to the point where the cleavage is going to be exposed, but to the point where I just like it to be a little bit wider. So I'm making a half double crochet, a decrease. You don't have to make a decrease if you don't want to make a decrease. You just get to the point where your stitch marker is and you continue from there, like you turn back without making a decrease. I hope you understand. If you don't want to have a curve, then you can actually ignore this decrease that I'm doing right now. You just get to where your stitch marker is, like I said, and just continue, like you just turn your work and continue with the pattern. And for those who like a curve, like you want a curve, this is how it is. And once you're done with the curve, you just continue with the next pattern, which is a double crochet, and you just make a double crochet just like we have a double crochet underneath. Just follow the pattern and continue like that. Again, I'm just going to work back down to where I make a decrease, and then just continue with the old pattern thing. Right now I'm there, and as you can see, there's a curve, but I'm not going to make a decrease anymore. I'm just going to continue with the pattern. I really apologize, I keep saying pattern, but yeah, just follow the pattern that you have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I forgot the pattern that, so I brought back my back panel to see what is next for me to do. And please just follow whatever you did at the back panel and just make sure you do it at the front. I apologize for the next scene. This is going to be a little bit complicated because I forgot a scene. I forgot I was actually recording, but don't worry, I'm going to make it very understandable. I'm going to explain how that part is going to be achieved actually. So I apologize in advance. Yeah, so what I actually wanted to show you is the color. I made a curve for the color so that the color can be a little bit curved because we ended our back panel with black. So yeah, this is actually what I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you how it's done at the other side. So okay, we are back at the previous scene. So I'm at the other side where I'm supposed to make the other curve for the V-neck. You can actually start anywhere, but I'm just going to turn and insert a fresh yarn and do the other side of the V-neck color. I'm here again. Of course, I'm going to make a decrease just like I did at the previous V-neck, So please don't forget if you did make a decrease, and if you didn't make a decrease, just continue as usual or as you did. So for the color, once you notice that you have 5 rows left to finish with the panel that you're on, like the front panel, that is when we are going to be making our decrease. So right here I'm going to be making a decrease. So just remember, this is the color decrease, and we're making decrease of double crochet. Like I said, once you know that you have 5 rows left, that is when we're going to be making the decrease for the color. Again, I'm going to turn and continue with the pattern, and once I get to the end, then I turn right back and then I make another decrease. So the decrease in total is just going to be like 3 decreases. I'm sorry, 3 decreases because we have 5 rows. So just 3 decreases for the color only. And sometimes the decreases can be a little bit tricky because we have different stitches. Just make sure that once you have 2 stitches left, that is when you make your decrease. For this half double crochet, it might be difficult for you to see that, but just make sure that once you have 2 half double crochet left, that is when you make your decrease. So this is what it looks like. The front and the back panel is actually ready. You can't really see the decrease for the color, but it is there. When you start making the color part, this is when you know that you make a decrease because it's going to be perfect. For the shoulder, where we're going to be joining, you can actually use needle, but I prefer to use single crochet to join it together. I honestly forgot the clip to join in. I didn't record that, but I don't know why I used white. It depends on how you want to join. You can use needle, like I said, like your needle pin, or you can use your hook to just do a single crochet together. So now we are going to make our color first, where we make our decrease, the black part. That is where we are going to start with the color. So I'm just going to turn this so that so you can insert your hook into the hole. We have the tiny hole there. That is when you make a single crochet into that hole, the tiny hole. So you just make 1 single crochet into each holes, and when you see a bigger hole than the usual, then you make 2 single crochets into that space. I have a tutorial on how to make the perfect color for your mesh shirts. You can actually check that out if this is not clear enough. We are at the back of the shirt, so we are going to be making 2 single crochets into that hole. We've gotten to the other side of the collar, so whatever holes single crochet that you made at the other side, just make sure you do that at the other side. I mean, like the other side of the collar too. And I always like to increase at the first single crochet. Just make 2 single crochet into those first edge so that you can have a very sharp edge for your collar. So we're going to be going around like back and forth with single crochets. So this is how it looks like. Perfect color. So this is how it looks like, the pointy edges and everything. So let's get right into our V neck. However you made your V neck, whatever division that you made, just make sure you find the middle. If you don't have a middle, just make sure you have something close to the middle. That is where you're going to insert your new yarn and make single crochet so that it can look like your collar. To start my single crochet, I'm just going to chain in 2 and then continue. For that O, I'm going to make 2 single crochets because it's big. I was about to make half double crochet. Single crochets, please. So I'm just going to do 2 single crochets into the space where I know that's a little bit bigger, and when I see a bigger much space, I can insert like 2 or 3 single crochet. And then when you get to those half double crochet, you can just make 1 single crochet into those spaces. And the triple I'm sorry, you can make like 3 or 4 single crochet. It depends on how your stitches might be. So you can make more single crochets and, you know, just go on like that. I know it might look a little bit weird at first, but just trust the process. We add the edge, so just chain 1 and turn and continue to fill in with single crochet. No increases, no decreases, just continue with the rows of single crochet. So this is how it looks like. I did 7 rows on one side. This side is where the buttons will be, so it will be more than the other side where the buttonholes will be. So again, we have our middle, and that is where the same place where I did the first stitch, that is where I'm going to insert again to make the other side of the V neck, where we're going to have our buttonhole. Chain 2 and turn, since I'm working at the other side, and repeat whatever you did at the other side to the other side. I hope you understand. So I've done like 4 rows of single crochet. I'm about to do the buttonhole, about to create a buttonhole. So you just count the number of spaces that you want, or however you want your buttonholes to have more spaces, or you decide how many buttonholes you want to have. It depends on what you like. For this shirt, I'm just making 3 buttonholes. So after you chain 2, you skip 2 single crochets, and then you just continue like that. Again, you're going to refill in the part where you did your buttonholes so that it could be more thicker, and that's how it's done. So yeah, this is how it should be looking like. We have our buttonholes, and the rest of it you're just going to use needle to tack in to have that V. So yeah, well, I think we're done with the neck area and the collar. So now we're going to stitch up the body, which is a little bit difficult. Not really difficult, don't mind me. Just to make it as neat as possible, I did single crochets, and I used black on the black thread and white on the white thread. For the armhole, just make sure to leave like extra inch, so that, because we're making a long sleeve, so that it can like fit in well and it won't be like extremely tight. So you just choose whatever color it falls on. For mine, it falls on black, so I'm just going to like stitch it right up to where I have my armhole, just like here. As you can see, I already stitched it up and I have my armhole, and now I'm going to like make up the sleeve, just like shrug. If you're familiar with making shrug, this should be like very easy for you. So again, going to insert in and grabbing a fresh yarn, a black actually. However you want your shirt to be, you can actually grab a white, depends. I'm going to be making a double crochet, just like how we did at the shirts, the color like that part, just the double crochet and a half double crochet. And for this part it can be a little bit tricky because you can't really see where to insert for like your mesh, because this stuff is the stitches are actually like twisted, but you just have to like find a hole where you need to like insert in your stitches. Just try to make sure that your mesh is not really that big and it's not too small. If it's too small, I think it's nice because we need like more room for the stitch at the arm area so that it will not be very tight when the person wears it or when you wear it. Depends on who you make it with. So we just make the mesh not too big and just try to like discover or find where to put in the stitches. Just like for the triple, you can have like 2 or 3 mesh on that stitch. It depends on how your stitches is. It could be tight or could be free, but like I said, just make it like don't make it too big, just make it the usual mesh that you've been making. At this point I can't make a slip stitch because if I make a slip stitch the mesh is going to be very big, so I have to like find a space where I'm going to make another mesh so that the slip stitch can be close to each other. So this is how it looks like. At first you can be doubting if it's like going to fit in the person's arm, because I was having the same doubts, but by the time you like keep going, it will like be very free and it will just come around. So this is the other side of the sleeve. I'm done with that. As you can see, we made a half double crochet and a double crochet, then triple and the pattern. And for that part, the white part, I made a half double crochet and a double crochet. So I'm going to be repeating at the other side. I want to say a very big thank you to all of the shares, all of the likes, all of the comments. Like, thank you so much. Thank you.